Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 in building a superior Squier. In part 1, we added some very stock looking locking tuners, we added a high performance bridge, and in this video we are going to be upgrading, as you can see, the guitar is stripped, all the pots, the switches, and the pickups. Now this build is going to be a bit of a sleeper build. We're going to keep the aesthetics of the guitar largely stock so it just looks like any run-of-the-mill Squier, but underneath it's going to be a completely different beast. All right, you guys, here we go. A quick comparison between the old and the new. So here is the old Squier Classic Vibe setup, and here is our brand new setup, which we'll talk about in a second. So Classic Vibe, they have Alnico pickups, as you guys can see there, no bar magnets. Some basic wiring, just plastic shielding and that kind of stuff. Small dime-sized pots, 3 of them. Now, I'm only familiar with AXLABS from their heavy-duty tone claw. It's like this massive piece of hardware that replaces, you know, the thin tin tone claw on most guitars, but they do a bunch of other stuff as well. So, yeah, instead of like CTS, Switchcraft, we got AXLABS. So we got full-size pots, orange drop capacitor, all cloth wiring, pure tone output jack, and some Habanero pickups. These are by Grover Jackson. Never, used these ever. So judging by the name, hopefully it's going to add some serious heat to our Squier. So it's going to look completely stock, but hopefully the Habanero pickups really give it a kick. So yeah, instead of, going with the usual suspects, we've got pure tone, we've got AXLABS, pots and switches, all of that stuff, super heavy duty. There's a look at the switch, all metal, all cloth. So yeah, a really, really nice pickguard. All right, you guys, so I've got the guitar all buttoned up here. Here's what it looks like with the new Habanero pickups. Still definitely contains that vintage flair that the Classic Vibe is known for. So I think that's really great. But now, of course, we've got the full-size pots. Brand new pickups, cloth wiring, high quality output jack, pure tone, switch, all that stuff. Huge upgrade over the Classic Vibe, which is really great. There was a few wires that had to be soldered. There was the 2 ground wires. I just use a Weller, like hobbyist unit. I think if you were to do it like a lot of soldering, you might want to go with something more powerful, but just for like the odd wire, that thing works really, really good. So there you guys go. Let's put the neck on next and and then see how this thing is shaping up. Now in the first video, I wanted you guys to vote blocks or something just very, very classic. And I think the majority of you guys wanted to go a little more conservative, classic with just the regular dots. So that's what we're sticking with. Let's put it on and I'll be back. All right, you guys, as you can see, Project Sleeper Squier is looking deliciously stock with a lot of hidden features under. You would never know that there are locking tuners on this guitar, but of course there are. Super easy to put in. You just loosen the top part of the tuning machine. It's just a threaded section. So you just loosen it up just enough so that your string can go through, and then you just tune it up and it instantly locks it. I like that the guys from AXLABS, when they're like, well, what are you putting it on? I said a Squier Classic Vibe, so immediately they gave me the proper screw holes. They also did a 1-ply guard. That's the best, right? Like you don't want a 3-ply guard on a Classic Vibe. That's gonna instantly look out of place. So really kept that stock. Obviously the trim, kind of if you take a good look, you're gonna know, okay, well the trim has, yeah, some interesting and unique saddles, those full contact saddles. And as you can see there, hopefully, I don't know if the camera will grab that, but it is floating. So that way I can just do all the flutters, all the soft and like intricate things that you could never do on a Squier, plus deck the thing and have all your strings just flop down and do all the trim tricks and stuff. And fingers crossed we'll come back in tune. Obviously these are fresh strings that have just gone on, so they're going to stretch a little bit, but that's it. There you go. There's a look at the back. I'll put the cover on. Looking stock back there as well. So there you go. That's our sleeper Squier. Let's plug it in. Hopefully those Habanero pickups give a little heat and give a little punch to this. But let's just plug it in, take a listen to some of the stock tones. Then we'll do a quick comparison between the Player series and just see if our Habanero pickups sound a little different. I hope they do, because that's the kind of point of modding a guitar. Here we go, let's plug it in and take a listen. All right, you guys, here we go. Very first tones with the Sleeper Squier. The Habanero pickups were done by Grover Jackson, obviously an absolute legend in the industry. Neck pickup wide open, and I'm gonna try to use the trem a bunch of the time. Obviously, brand new strings. They're gonna stretch out a little bit, but here we go, neck pickup. Let's see what this thing sounds like. Oh man, super lush in that neck pickup. Just sounds fantastic. Really nice and balanced as well. See if I can do some flutters here. Definitely. With some overdrive, that'll come through for sure. Let's try position 4 here. Yeah, going back and forth between, you know, position 5 and 4, big difference. Let's see how chimey position 3 is here. So obviously it is a little bit out of tune, but you know, to be able to take a Squier and just like all the way to the pickguard, flop your strings on brand new strings and have it reasonably in tune. You know, haven't tuned it up once and I can still... All right, you guys, now let's try a little crunch. I'm in the bridge pickup, everything wide open again, and let's see what that sounds like. So as you guys could hear, I dialed in 3 different subtle crunches. So we started with basic, then we upped it 1, then we upped it again. Just kind of like pushing to see how much it would saturate and that kind of stuff. If we go back into the neck pickup here. We'll go up 1. So you guys can hear how much that kind of saturates. We're still really on a light crunch, but we're kind of pushing it, and then 1 more. Let's take some of the tone down. I mean, neck pickup with the tone dialed back a little bit with, you know, somewhat saturated crunch really does give a nice tone. You know, definitely if I just heard that blindfolded, I might not associate that with a Strat. Very, very versatile pickups just for like the first run through. Super impressed with how this little Squier sounds. So far, I'm really loving how this sleeper Squier sounds. Now I'm gonna do a quick comparison between a Player Series Strat and our sleeper Squier. So I'm just gonna do some basic chords back to back clean so we can kind of figure out if there's a difference between the tone, how similar they are, all that kind of stuff. Here we go. Well, you guys, to my ear, the sleeper Squier had a little bit of a fuller tone, sounded really nice with various levels of crunch. I didn't really go into high gain territory, but lots of crunch, very, very versatile sounding pickups. I loved using parts that I normally wouldn't use, like these locking tuners. Wouldn't consider them otherwise. You know, the Grover Jackson pickups, haven't tried them before. Clear tone, AXLABS over stuff like, you know, CTS and Switchcraft. So yeah, it was really, really fun doing a build using parts I normally wouldn't use. Same with this bridge. The bridge is an absolute game changer. The fact that I can do, you know, the flutters, little floating movements, decking the whole thing, like you just can't do that on a Squier if you want to keep playing, and this is going to absolutely handle it. So yeah, from a distance, just looks like any other, you know, run-of-the-mill Strat, but when you play it, sounds fantastic, and most important, it plays really well in terms of the locking tuners and the trem system. So yeah, overall, really love it. I will link to all the parts I used in this build in the video description below if you want to try any of them out. They'll be down there. Other than that, thanks for coming along with the little mini build series. Love to start a new year with a build. So there you guys go. Sleeper Strat, really fun guitar. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Other than that, have yourself a fantastic week. Take care.